Today, we are ranking every team's 2024 through 2025 season. Let's get started. At number 32, you got the New York Giants. First off, they let Saquon Barkley go so they could keep Daniel Jones, who they ended up cutting mid-season. Their quarterback situation was terrible. Saquon Barkley went on to be the best rusher in the league and winning the Super Bowl. It just was a terrible season for the Giants. Everything fell apart. Other than that 45 to something win against the Colts, there was no bright spots for this team other than Malik Nabers at receiver and maybe some of their defense. I have low hope for this team in the years to come. At number 31, we're going to be going with the Las Vegas Raiders. I know they weren't the worst team in the NFL, but just the way that they played this season, incompetent. Just not a good team. The quarterback situation also for this team was horrible, as you'll see with a lot of the teams lower down here. Just a bad team this year. Tennessee Titans at number 30. The Titans aren't as bad as people might say they are, and I do have a little bit of hope going into the future, but it's definitely not a lot of hope. At number 29, you got the Cleveland Browns. Just Deshaun Watson just not playing super well. He got injured. Jameis Winston came in. I think he won like one game through a bunch of interceptions. I don't know about what this team is going to do in 2025 and 2026, but they're going to have to change a lot. Number 28, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Definitely not a great team. Definitely not a great season. But they got some key pieces. They could build around them. Shout out to AFKJ2385, who's a Jaguars fan, also a YouTuber. Yeah, there's a little bit of hope going into this next season with the Jaguars. At number 27, you got the Carolina Panthers. They improved drastically from last season. They were competitive in a lot of games, and I do have hope going into next season for this team. Number 26, the New England Patriots. You could switch around 26 and 27, the Patriots and the Panthers, but the Patriots didn't have a great season at all. They had a terrible season, but I do see a lot of good things in the future. I do even have them probably or maybe making the playoffs next season. You might call me crazy, but I think they might. Number 25, the San Francisco 49ers. Injuries after injuries after injuries. So much was expected this season. Nothing came out, just like this next team. The New York Jets at number 24. So much hype around Aaron Rodgers after tearing his Achilles last season. Couldn't get any more wins than Zach Wilson did. What a disappointing season for the Jets. Yet another one. Let's see what they can do in the future. What they'll try and do. 23 is the New Orleans Saints. They're not terrible. Actually, they are terrible. But they did show some signs of being all right. Their rookie quarterback, backup, looking okay. I don't really have too much to say about the Saints. Those first 2 weeks, though, scary. Number 22, on to the Bears. I ranked them pretty highly on this list compared to how terrible their record was. But Caleb Williams, I was thinking that Hail Mary. Caleb Williams had a pretty good season, even though his team had nothing to show for it. They might even take the North and never give it back at one point with their new coach, Ben Johnson. Number 21, the Dallas Cowboys, showing some flashes of being all right at the end of the season, just like, injuries got to them, especially at the quarterback position. Dak got injured. Cooper Rush came in. Just a wasted season for them, honestly. That's what I think of it as, but could come back next season looking better. Number 20, the Miami Dolphins did not make the playoffs, didn't have too much success this season. Just like the Cowboys, I feel like it was a wasted season. Made the playoffs last year, didn't make it this year. I don't know. At number 19, I'm going to go with the Colts. The same thing for these past three teams. I just don't like Anthony Richardson. Is he the guy? Is he not? I don't know. Their receiving core, lackluster. It's just you never know with this team. Number 18 is the Falcons. I do not like the Falcons at all. They're not a good team. I do not like the Falcons. But towards the end of the season, they're getting respectable with Michael Penix Jr. There could be a future with him. Hopefully not, as a Bucs fan. Kirk Cousins played a couple good games. Just a season. Number 17 is the Arizona Cardinals. Showed some flashes of being good, then some flashes of being terrible, some flashes of being mid. You never know with the Cardinals. Obviously, in the end, didn't make the playoffs, didn't have a good record. I know some of the teams before this had a way better record than them, but I'm just saying I feel like they would have a better future than, say, the Dolphins. Number 16, middest team in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. 10-7, missed the playoffs. Geno Smith, is he the guy of the future? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see with this next season. But the Seahawks are a team that could make the playoffs next year, or they could choke very badly. Number 15, the best team to not make the playoffs is the Cincinnati Bengals. I could have ranked the Broncos under them, but the Broncos did make the playoffs, and they didn't choke so hard in week 1 against the Patriots when they could have made the playoffs. They just won that game. The Bengals defense this year was not very good. The Bengals offense this year, very good. They didn't make the playoffs. Probably will next year. That's what we said last year too. So, number 14, the Denver Broncos made the playoffs. Got blown out on the wild card. That first drive was amazing though. Bo Nix showing promise as a rookie. Worst playoff team though, and that's that. Number 13, the Pittsburgh Steelers with their yearly wild card playoff loss. Haven't had a losing season in a while. Haven't had a playoff win in a while. The Steelers looking for a quarterback. They don't know exactly who their guy is. They have an idea of it, but they don't know. They got to find that guy, try and win some games, try and be contenders. They're the Steelers. Number 12 is the LA Chargers. The Chargers made the playoffs. They did some stuff before the playoffs. Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions in the playoffs. Justin Herbert is not an elite quarterback. I don't think so, at least. And the Chargers have a future, though. At number 11, the Buccaneers. Could have ranked them behind the other two, but I do think that the Bucs are better than those teams because they're the Bucs and they're a great team. No bias. And yeah, there's a huge future, bright future. Super Bowl next year. Number 10, I don't know why I did that. The Green Bay Packers. I don't know. They're a good team. Got beat in the wild card, but they were a good team. Good team this season. Lost to the Bears. Kind of sad, but they are a good team. Texans, definitely not as good as their last season, but at number 9, just I almost forgot to say that. The Texans at number 9, definitely not as good as last season, but had a good season. Won a playoff game. Defense looked amazing towards the end of the year. There's a lot in this team's future. A lot. Number 8, 14-3, Minnesota Vikings. Sammy Darnold taking this team to the playoffs, getting blown out in the wild card, but amazing regular season. Who knows what they're going to do at quarterback this season, though. Not sure about the Vikings' future, but miracle regular season, though. Number 7, the LA Rams. They won a playoff game, looked great this year. This team could look a whole lot different next year, though. So if I was ranking going into next year, be a little bit behind this, but ranking them off this last season, number 7 is a fitting spot for them, given that they won a playoff game, had a good showing in the divisional round, and they almost were contenders. Number 6 is the Washington Commanders. I could have put them literally at number 4 because they made the NFC Championship game. I could have put them really high up, but we're going off base the entire season, which they had an amazing season. There's some teams that had a better season than them. There's so much potential with rookie Jaden Daniels and so many other players on this team. And this team is going places soon. Now, number 5, I'm going to give it to the Baltimore Ravens, one of my other teams that I really like. There's a future for this team. They had a great showing. They just got to keep going with their offense looking good. They just got to keep this rhythm going, keep going into next season. They could really be contenders. They got to win a Super Bowl at some point. The Lions, their regular season, record-breaking, I think. Amazing wins, won by so many points, best point differential in the league. But then in the playoffs, lost in the divisional round because they had the 1 seed. They did not win a playoff game, but they nevertheless are an amazing team, and they will be back next year as contenders. Number 3 is the Buffalo Bills, an amazing football team. Amazing. Number 2 seed in the AFC. They're definitely going places. Hopefully, they'll be able to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs at some point and make the Super Bowl. Nevertheless, win a Super Bowl. They definitely have a future. Now, number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs had the best regular season in all of football, based on record, of course. Also tied with the Lions, I think. But nevertheless, the Chiefs wanted a three-peat. They did not do that. Looked terrible in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. The Chiefs are definitely going to be back next year, and they will definitely be contenders because they're the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are a great football team. I got to give them that. And your number 1 team for the 2024-2025 NFL season is, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles. You got to give it to your Super Bowl champion. No team had a better season than the Super Bowl champion. I don't care if the Broncos won the Super Bowl. No team would have had a better season than the Super Bowl champion. Made it the farthest, won the Super Bowl, won the big game. There it is. The Eagles brought in key players on defense and Saquon Barkley on offense and a couple other players. They won the Super Bowl. They're your Super Bowl champions. They're your number 1 team. Those are my 32 teams, NFL teams, ranked based on their 2024-2025 NFL season. Don't forget to like and subscribe because if you do, then your team actually might win a game next season. Crazy, right? Yeah. But the Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Want to say thank you guys for 1.8K subscribers. Can't believe we came so far. Let's try and hit 2K soon. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. See you guys.